For over 25 years, the Calico family has been haunted by the mysterious disappearance of their loved one, who vanished without a trace. Investigators are equally troubled by the lack of suspects in this perplexing case. Patty Doyle, the mother of missing student Tara Calico, held into hope of her daughter's return until her dying breath. As the years passed, Patty's grief consumed her, causing her to see a glimpse of terror in every passing cyclist. 34 years later, Tara remains missing, leaving the Calico case wide open and riddled with unanswered questions. Despite years of investigation, only one piece of evidence has been uncovered, leaving everyone to wonder what truly befell Tara, and could she still be out there somewhere? Tara Calico, a 19-year-old psychology student at the University of New Mexico. She was known for her meticulous planning and punctuality beyond her years. On September 20, 1988, she embarked on her usual morning bike ride, followed by a tennis match with her boyfriend, Mac McCracken. Tara planned to cover 56 kilometers along her favorite route near her hometown of Rio Communis, but this time her mother declined to accompany her. Concerned for her safety, Tara's mother urged her to carry pepper spray, especially after Tara had found threatening notes tied to her bike earlier that spring. But instead of succumbing to fear, Tara armed herself with a cassette tape of her favorite band, Boston. When Tara failed to show up by 12:05, her mother's instincts kicked in, sensing that something was amiss. Without hesitation, she set out to trace her daughter's route, scouring the roads for any sign of Tara. Despite her efforts, Tara was nowhere to be found, prompting her mother to swiftly contact the authorities. The last sighting of Tara occurred at 11:45 a.m. on Highway 47, with witnesses recalling a white pickup truck trailing behind her for a period of time. However, no one witnessed any accident or abduction, leaving investigators with no solid leads on the vehicle's involvement in Tara's disappearance. A day later, Tara's cassette tape was discovered just 2 kilometers from her home, accompanied by telltale traces of bicycle tracks nearby. Further into the investigation, pieces of Tara's cassette player were recovered, scattered over 30 kilometers east of the city. Tara's mother was convinced that these breadcrumbs pointed towards the direction in which her daughter was taken. Yet aside from this finding, no other belongings of the student were recovered. Possibility of Tara simply running away from home wasn't ruled out by investigators. Reports surfaced in the media on June 15, 1989, detailing an alleged sighting of a girl resembling Tara in the company of 2 unidentified men in Port St. Joe, Florida. According to the witness, it appeared as though Tara was obeying their commands, adding another layer of mystery to the case. Coincidentally, on the same day, significant evidence emerged in the form of a photograph found in the parking lot of Port St. Joe, further fueling speculation surrounding Tara's disappearance. It's known that on that day, a white van was parked near to the find, in which a mustachioed man of about 30 was sitting. Whether the picture fell out of the car, no one could say. The search for his driver's car didn't lead to anything. The picture, taken with a Polaroid camera, showed a girl and a boy, teenagers, lying on a blanket and pillows of a van, their mouths taped shut and their hands behind their backs. Tara's mother, Patty, identified her daughter by the scar on her leg that Tara had received in a car accident a few years earlier. Tara's sister, Michelle, was also convinced that her sister was in the photo, but law enforcement agencies didn't share their confidence. The FBI concluded that it wasn't Tara in the picture, but another girl. At the same time, the staff of the British Scotland Yard believed that it was Tara herself. Experts from the Los Alamos National Laboratory couldn't give a definite answer at all. The thing is that in 1989, Tara was supposed to be 20 years old, and the girl in the picture looked at least 4 years younger. Doyle continued to insist on her own because next to the prisoner lay Calico's favorite book, My Gentle Adrenner, Virginia Andrews. Curiously, the phone was recorded on the cover of the work, but some of the numbers were impossible to make out. There were thousands of possible numbers, of which only 57 actually worked, but their verification yielded nothing. The investigators who examined the picture wondered if it was a fake frame. The police were confused by the fact that the girl's hands were clearly not tied. Her shoulders looked quite relaxed. The skin around the guys' mouths didn't turn red, which meant that they had been taped only for the sake of the photo. However, this question remained unanswered, and some law enforcement officials believed that the fear in the eyes of teenagers was real. Who the boy in the picture was is also still unclear. On April 21, 1988, a 9-year-old boy, Michael Handley, disappeared near the city where Tara lived. He was hunting with his father in the mountains of Zuni, but at some point he fell behind him and fell through the ground. Handley's parents decided that their son was being held captive by unknown kidnappers. The police again doubted, as the photo showed a teenager who looked very much like Michael. However, in 1990, Michael's remains were discovered in the mountains. The examination showed that no one took his life. His death was natural. Years later, 2 similar images were found in the Californian community of Montecito. One showed an already dead girl with her mouth taped shut, while the other showed the victim with a blindfold sitting next to a man. Investigators provided the footage to Patty for identification, but she could not say for sure if her daughter was in these pictures. In 2003, Tara's boyfriend, Mac McCracken, was convicted of the crime of murdering his wife. Law enforcement officials suggested that the man could have been involved in Tara's disappearance as well, but they didn't find any evidence of this theory. In 2008, the sheriff of Valencia County, New Mexico, Rene Rivera, stated that he knew from the very beginning what happened to Tara Calico. The policeman was sure that the student was being chased by 2 teenagers in a white pickup truck. At some point, they accidentally hit a girl. In a panic, the young man took her life and buried her. Rivera said he couldn't name the perpetrators because without a body, these would be empty charges. In 2009, a woman calling herself a clairvoyant told investigators that she knew Tara. They worked together in a strip club. The psychic reported that she allegedly had a vision according to which Tara was killed and buried somewhere in California. The police checked her words, but they turned out to be useless for the investigation. In the same year, 2009, David Barnes, the sheriff of the city of Port St. Joe, received 2 letters sent from the city of Albuquerque. The envelopes contained pictures of a boy whose mouth was painted over a black marker. The photo looked like the same frame from 1989. Image analysis again yielded no results. The case of Tara Calico's disappearance is still, unfortunately, open. Law enforcement agencies are already considering the images as evidence. Patty Doyle, Tara's mother, died in 2006 from complications after several heart strokes. However, she was always thinking about her daughter. Patty and her husband John saved the bedroom for Tara, bringing gifts there for Christmas and birthdays. To date, the culprit of Tara Calico's disappearance is still shrouded in mystery. Will there be any more evidence, and will they find Tara? The disappearance of Tara Calico remains one of the most mysterious cases in the United States. Thank you for watching. I recommend you check out the other stories as well. Click right now. See you soon.